Right. So the recording has started. Let me share the screen. Right. So we looked at we started the logical and string instructions to start with the logical instruction first. Okay. So I hope I'm audible to all the students, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. So and instruction to start with. Basically, logical instruction is using some logical operations like and, or, okay, XOR, I mean negation, not, okay, all those things. So I'm sorry. There's some issue. One second. Right. Okay. So and instruction. Uh, so and destination comma source. This is the syntax of this. Okay. So the destination, same as we have move. Okay. The destination will be first and then the source next. So basically, it will logically and each bit of the source with the corresponding bit of the destination. Okay. So the ANDing of each bit will be done bit by bit. Okay. So and the destination will have the result of AND will be stored inside the destination. The destination of the result of destination and source ANDing will be stored inside the destination. For example, okay, let's see if I have an example here. Okay, I don't have. Let me put it here then. Okay. So I have, let us say that I have 1010 0000. Okay, let us have that as the thing. Okay, 1010 0000. This is, let us say, is my destination. Okay, that is, and let us say AX comma BX. So let us say that AX previously was this. Okay, BX, for example, is this 01011111. Let us say that you have this. Okay, so it will, and 0 and 1 is how much? What is 0 and 1? 0 and 0, 0 and 1?
Zero.
Yes. Okay, so 0, 0, 0, 0. Again, 0 and 1 is 0. 1 and 0 is also 0. 0 and 1 is 0, and 1 and 0 is 0. Okay. So now AX will have this. AX will have this. Okay. So it will logically AND each of them, and it will store it in destination, which is in this case be AX. Carry flag and overflow flag both become 0 when during this. Okay. Because there is no carry generated. Okay, there's no carry generated, there is no overflow generated. It will, because never you will have a scenario where a carry is coming out, because it's not an arithmetic operation, so you will not have a carry. Therefore they both carry flag and overflow flag, they become 0. Okay, and PF, SF and ZF, they will be affected. That is parity flag, sign flag and 0 flag, they will be affected. And auxiliary carry flag is undefined. Okay, is undefined. You will not that will not be taken into consideration in when you are doing any sort of operation like or something like that. So therefore, whenever you do an AND operation, let us say that I have an instruction AND AX comma BX. Okay, following this I should not have JC or JNC. Okay, why? Or JO or JNO. This is where overflow, if the overflow flag is generated. Why? Because by default, or you can say always, any AND operation, regardless of what is ANDed, overflow flag and carry flag will be always 0. Therefore, there is no, there is no use of having JC or JNC. That will not do any and that will not help you make a decision whether to jump to a particular location or not as a result of ANDing, right? So you should not have JC or JNC following AND instruction, okay? Because overflow flag and carry flag, they will become 0 always, okay? So you can have anything related to the sign flag, 0 flag, or parity flag, okay? However, as we know,
So,
parity flag is always affected or will have only effect only on the last least significant 8 bits, least significant byte only, right? Yeah, there was a query.
so can you once again explain what happened with AX and BX here? I mean, with the AND operation.
AX and BX will remain same, okay? Now AX will be now written with 00, okay? Will be written with A00. The result of this AND operation is 0000. Now AX will be stored with 0000. That means this will be overwritten, whatever is the data.
So AX will be overwritten by whatever is in BX, right?
No, it will be overwritten by this particular values.
So
Okay, this is B.
why only zeros once again?
AND
Why
operation.
only
What was the result of the AND? 0 and 0. 0 and 1 is 0.
okay, got it.
Right? Okay. Fine. Now OR will also operate the same way, except that ANDing each corresponding bit, I will OR a corresponding bit. Okay. So it will be something like OR AX BX. Okay. So 10100000. Let us say that, and I have, let us say, 0101 1111. If you OR them, 0 or 1 is what? 1. 0 or 1 is 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and 1 again. So AX will become this. Okay. So AX will be now overwritten with the whatever is the result of ORing. Again, carry flag and overflow flag, they are 0. Parity flag, sign flag, and 0 flag, they will be affected based on this, on the result. Okay. So in this case, in the previous case, ZF will become 1 because the answer is a 0. Okay. Sign flag will be what? 0. And parity flag will be what? How much? What will be parity flag? It's even parity. Even parity is 1. Okay. So here 0 flag is 0 because the answer is not a 0. Sign flag will be 1 because the most significant bit is 1. And parity flag will be also 1 because even number of ones are there, 8 ones are there. Okay, fine. Now XOR will do basically bitwise XOR. Okay, bitwise XOR, same thing. The carry flag and overflow flag, they will become 0 because again you will not have any carry or overflow. Parity flag, sign flag, 0 flag, they will be affected. Auxiliary carry flag is unaffected. Okay, if you take the same example, 1010 1010 0000 and 0101 11. Let me put 00 here instead to make a difference. So 0 XOR 0 is what? Unmute yourself and you can tell. 0 XOR 0 is 0. 0 XOR 0 is 0. 0 XOR 1 is 1. 0 XOR 1 is 1. 0 XOR 1 is 1. 1 XOR 0 is 1. 0 XOR 1 is 1. Okay. Here, for a change, let me put 1 here instead. 1 XOR 1 is 0. Okay. So this will be AX. If at all my previous instruction was XOR AX, comma BX. Right. Again, sign flag, parity flag will be, and 0 flag will be affected. So in this case, 0 flag is 0 because the answer is not a 0. Sign flag will be 0 because most significant bit is 0. And parity flag, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 ones, odd number of ones. So it will be 0, odd parity. Auxiliary carry flag is undefined. Similarly, not is a unary, or you can say this is a single operation, or you can say unary operation, because you just have a destination. It complements each bit of the destination and stores the result back into the destination. Okay, so no flags will be affected as a result of this. No flags will be affected. Okay, so not of AL will just complement the bits, not of BX will just complement the bits of this thing, and not of byte pointer SI will complement the one byte location whose location is pointed or whose offset is given by SI. Okay, so in all these things, and destination and OR and XOR, the destination and source can be a register or a memory location. Okay, however, just as we have in move and add subtract instructions, we cannot have both source and destination as the memory location. You can't have both source and destination as memory location in all these operations. Okay, only one can be at the maximum, only one can be a destination, can be a memory location. Okay, and all those addressing modes which are possible with addition, subtraction operation are possible with AND, OR, and XOR also, right? Now negation instruction, what it will do is it does the twos complement of a particular data and stores it inside the data. Okay, so it stores the result back into destination after doing the twos complement. For example, negation neg AL, neg BX, and neg byte pointer SI. Okay, similar, and all flags will be affected by this. All flags are affected. Just see the contrast. Not will affect any flags, whereas negation will affect all the flags. Right? Okay. Now let us come to string instruction. Okay. 80x86 is equipped with special instructions to handle string operations. String is some array. String is basically a series of data words or bytes, okay, that reside in consecutive memory location. Okay, a series of data bytes or words which reside in consecutive memory location. For example, you can have move, scanning, and comparison on the string based instruction, string based data. Okay, so for example, let us start with move. I will have just normal move is MOV. Okay, I can have string based move by using MOVS. Okay, and it is basically combined with B byte or a word. Okay, move SB will actually move a byte. Move SW will actually move a word. Okay, so how it will be affected, we'll just see. So what it will do is it will copy a byte or word from a location in the data segment to a location in the extra segment. Okay, from data segment to extra segment it will move. Okay, the offset of the source byte must be stored inside an SI register. Source byte or word will be stored inside the SI register. The offset of destination word or byte, destination byte or word will be stored in the extra segment, will be stored by default in DI registers. And just like in any move instruction, no flags will be affected by this. Okay, let us take one example here. So it will just, you will not have any the instruction or the syntax will be just say move SB. Okay, there's no operand, there's nothing, because by default, or you can say it will take the source from SI pointer. Okay, SI will point to the source location and DI will point to the destination location. Okay, so you do not need any operands as such. So I just say move SB and move SW. Okay, so for multiple byte or word moves, the count to be stored will be in CX. Okay, the CX register should be stored, should store the register, or should store the count in CX. Okay, after after the byte transfer, okay, SI and DI will be incremented or decremented by 1. Okay, because let us say that SI is equal to say 0 1 0 0, and DI let us say is 0 2 0 0, and after I will store if I just say move SB, okay, then what will happen? One byte of data will be transferred from DS colon 0 1 0 0. Okay, I will not have a brackets here, to ES colon 0 2 0 0. That will be transferred. Okay, if one byte is transferred, there will be an increment or decrement by 1, and a word being transferred, it will decrement or increment by 2. Now, what will decide whether I will increment or decrement? Anybody? Any guesses? What will actually tell me? Let me see how much you remember and you were following previous lectures. How do I know whether I have to increment or decrement? Who will tell me? Little Indian? No, it's not about Little Indian or Big Indian. It's about whether I will increment the direction flag, right? Good. So it will be the direction flag which will tell me. If you remember, in the flag register, there is a flag called as a D flag. This is a direction flag. Okay. If direction flag is, if I'm correct, if I'm not very sure, so 0 generally it will increment, and 1 it will decrement. Okay, I'll check back. I have to confirm this one. Okay, I do not remember exactly. So 0 it will increment and 1 it will decrement, most probably, or the other way around. Okay, we'll confirm that. Okay, so if a byte was transferred, it will increment by or decrement by 1, because every byte this offset will be at byte location, or it will point to one byte of data. Generally, memory is byte organized, and therefore address is given for each byte. Okay, so therefore it will increment or decrement by 1. However, if SI and DI, if D flag is in the if I do a move as W, then it will increment by 2, because a word was transferred. Word means 2 bytes was transferred. Yeah, here it is. Yeah. So I have 0 means it is auto increment. This is true here, right? And 1 is auto decrement. Okay. So how do I actually do an auto increment or decrement? I set it is, when I say CLD, it will clear the DF. Okay. CLD, there is no operand, and 0 will go into direction flag. Only direction flag will be affected. So when I want to increment it, first I will, by default, I will set it to CLD. I will set CLD, and then I will say move SB. Then it will actually move 1 byte and increment SI or DI by 1 each, and DI with 1 each. Okay. For example, okay, let us take an example. Dot model tiny. Okay, so I have some source string ABCD. Let us say that count is 4. Okay, so what I have done is I have loaded the effective address into SI for the source string, DI with the destination string. I cleared the direction flag so that it is in increment mode, and count I have moved into CX. Okay, that is 4 here. Why do I have this as DW? Anybody? Can't I have it as DB? 4 can be stored in 1 byte, right? Why do I need DW? Anybody? Why do I have DW there? Capacity of CX, that should be a better way of putting it, Amrut. You're right. You're right. Capacity is not a word you will use. You will say size of CX. Okay, you will say size of CX. CX is 16-bit register. Okay, and therefore you will have, and therefore you will have dw. Okay, if you say count as db, what will happen? If I have count as db, count db 04, okay, then if I say move cx comma count, what will happen? Will it throw an error? Will it lead to an error or not? Will it lead to an error or not? Error in the sense, will it actually have a error in terms of compilation error? Let me see how many of you agree move cx comma count will lead to an error in assembly. Yes, no, and let's see how many of you actually do say it. Okay, okay, so roughly it's like a divided opinion, mostly people saying no. Okay, mostly people saying no, right? Okay, anybody who is saying yes, who is saying no, why it will not lead to an error? Why it will not lead to an error? It will be zero padded and CS. It will be zero padded and zero padding can happen in some compilers. No, that's not the reason. The second, no error because move can copy 2 bytes from memory, but the second byte will be garbage. Yes, correct. It won't be garbage. It won't be garbage. But what will actually happen is I will actually copy a, the value of a into the ch. Okay. Let us say that ASCII value of a is let us say was say 61. Okay, if at all, I don't remember. Okay, then what will happen is cx will be loaded with 6104h. Basically, the next byte will also be transferred into cx. The next byte will also be transferred into cx. That is what will happen. Okay, let me see here. 41 it is. Okay, so it will become 41. Okay, it will become 41404. The next byte also will be transferred into cx. Okay, so that is the reason. To avoid that issue, what I will do is I will actually put it as dw so that one word is actually moved into cx. Okay, then I will say move sb rep. I will have a prefix called rep. When you do rep, what will happen is it will repeat this operation till cx becomes 0. Okay, it will repeat move sb till cx becomes 0. That is what will happen. Repeat this operation till cx becomes 0. That is what will happen if you have move sb. Right? Okay, so this is how you actually use move sb. Instead of this, if move sb was not there and rip was not there, then it would have actually complicated all your thing. Okay, what you would have written if move sb and rep would not be there, how will you transfer 4 bytes of data into this? Anybody? Unmute yourself and tell me.
So
What
can you
will be
explain
can you explain?
REP again?
Yeah, I said that what do you mean by REP is basically it will repeat this operation move SB till CX becomes 0. That means whatever is the value of CX, that many times this move SB will be repeated. Okay, in this case CX was 4, so move SB will be done 4 times. That means 4 bytes of data will be transferred from SI pointer to DI pointer, from the source string to the destination string in this case. Okay, from source string to destination string they will be copied 4 bytes. Okay, so it will
Sir,
be
I
done.
have a doubt in this. Sir,
Yes,
count contains the address of 04H, right?
count contains the offset of 04H.
Sir, it contains address or does it contain offset? Because for offset we have to specify offset count, right?
No, if you no here that will not be required. Why? Because when you actually compile it, this will be compiled as move CX comma whatever is the address. Let us say this address is 0000 only. Okay, so it will be compiled as this. Okay, it will become a direct addressing mode. Or sorry, direct addressing mode. This is an example of a direct addressing mode.
Okay, sir, but we can do this with the use of LEA also, right?
You can do it with LEA also, but the thing is you will require 2 steps for that. In that case, you will say LEA. Okay, how will you do it? LEA, tell me how will you do it? May I know your name, please?
Sir Raghav.
Raghav. Yeah, Raghav. Tell
Sir,
me LEA.
firstly we can transfer it into SI or DI.
SIDI already I
They are
have some.
occupied. Yeah, okay, yeah.
You can do
Then,
that, but you have to put that step before this. You can do that, no issue, but you should have it before because you are already having source and destination offset in SI and DI respectively. Right?
okay,
So
okay,
if you
okay,
want to use SI, you have to do it before, or another way is say move LEA BX count. BX can be used. Okay, and then you will say move CX comma BX brackets. Right, Raghav?
Yes, okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
You can do this way, right?
So,
Yes.
here when we did move CX comma count, we didn't
Who
get
was
an error.
who you can tell your name
Sumuk.
also? Sumuk.
Yes,
Sumuk. Yeah.
I'm Sumuk. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the slide, when we did move CX comma count, we didn't get an error. But suppose if we had a statement say moves AL comma count before this and count was DB, and then we did move CX comma AL, that will be an error, right?
No, it won't be an error. You can move. You mean to say move AX
AL,
comma.
AL,
Hmm.
AL comma count,
No,
and then
that will also not be an error. That will also be not an error. Why? Because you are clearly saying I want a byte of data. Count will actually be replaced with 0000H. Okay, it will be replaced with 0000H, because of which 1 byte will be transferred. Okay?
yes, sir. Here it won't be an error. So I'm saying in the next line, if we do move CX comma AL, then in that line won't it be an error? Because the
Yes,
two
yes,
registers are of different.
yes, it will be an error. It will be
Okay,
an
sir.
error.
So in this case, it is not an error because it is treating it somewhat like register addressing mode. Sorry, direct addressing mode.
Yes, it is a direct addressing mode.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay, so if I want to once just contrast, if at all you did not have this string instructions and REP instruction, how will you actually do a 4 bytes of transfer? Anybody would like to tell? What will be the equivalent code to this? Okay, what will be the equivalent code to this? Anybody?
So we will have to copy each byte and then increment the pointers accordingly.
Yes. Tell me what will be the instruction?
So we'll have to move some. So where we have to move it, like the destination.
This is the source, this is the destination.
Okay, so di comma si.
No, you can't have like that. Di comma si, you can't have.
First we'll
You
have
can't
to. Yes, sir. Just a minute.
move al. Let us say that move al comma si brackets. I move a byte into al, and then I say
Yeah,
move.
di comma al.
Yeah, di brackets comma al, right? And then
Decrement the count.
decrement the count. Okay.
No, first increment the pointers and then decrement the count.
Yeah. Increment si, increment di, and then decrement,
Count cx.
and then
Jump to the statement al comma si.
what jump? JMP or what? Which jump?
JNZ.
JNZ to which location? This
Yeah.
one?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let us put some variable label x1. Okay. So you will have to do this one. Okay. If you did not have REP and MoveSB instruction, the whole one line of code will be actually replaced with this much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 lines of code. Okay. Now 6 lines of code is now getting shrunk into one line of code. Okay, this is all possible because of the CISC architecture that you have in 8086. Okay, so this is how it will be. So you will have the PSP here, as I said, program segment prefix. Please, there's an issue here. Okay, there is an issue here. I am specifying all these things this way, but is it not like DI is actually pointing to the extra segment? Should actually point to the extra segment, but I'm using MoveSB as if DI is in data segment itself. Actually, MoveSB actually will transfer 1 byte of data from the data segment to the extra segment. If you look at here, it is actually transfer 1 byte of data from data segment to the extra segment. But here it doesn't appear that I'm conscious of the fact that actually transfer is being done to the extra segment. If you see my DI pointer is in the data segment only here. It is in, is as if I'm behaving or I'm writing the code as if there's a transfer within the data segment only, from data segment to data segment. Is it not wrong in doing that? Am I not wrong in doing this?
In tiny model, ES and DS point at the same location.
Who is that?
Akash.
Akash. Yes, correct. In dot model tiny, what is happening is all the segments actually overlap with each other, because of which both extra segment and data segment, both of them, they will overlap with each other. So that is the reason I do not have any difference. Okay, and whether DI is in extra segment or data segment, because both data segment, extra segment are the same thing. They overlap with each other. Okay, so therefore there is not an issue at all. Okay, so that's why you have both code CS, DS, SS, ES all pointing to this particular segment. Okay, which can be something like, for example, 0BC4H, for example. Okay, you will have 0100 bytes of PSP, program segment prefix, and then you have the code and data segment in this way. Okay, so you have the code, and then you have the data here. Okay, and so on. Right? Okay. For example, other string instruction that you have is LODS. What this will do is it will load AL or AX with the data which is stored in the data segment. The offset address is indexed by SI register, and after loading, SI will be incremented if D is 0 and decremented if D is 1. Okay. So what will this load is? Load has two options, that is load as B. Now load as B, what it will do is it will load AL with DS:SI brackets. That means the SI will actually will give the offset address within the data segment, and 1 byte will be loaded into AL. AL will be written with whatever 1 byte of data will be moved from the memory in the data, that is a data segment, into AL. 1 byte will be transferred into AL. Load SW on the other hand will move one word, that is 16 bits of data from the data segment into AX. And after this operation, SI will be incremented or decremented with 1 for load SB, and incremented or decremented with 2 for in the case of load SW. Okay. Now, whether it will increment or decrement, that will be determined by D is equal to 0 or D is equal to 1. Incremented if D is equal to 0, decremented if D is equal to 1. Okay. And because this is a data movement operation, no flags are affected. No flags are affected because of load S. Okay. No flag is affected because of load S. On the other hand, I can store AL, contents of AL or AX into the extra segment using the instructions STOS. Okay. So in this, what will happen is I will move a data or a word, data of byte or word into extra segment whose offset is given by DI register. Okay. And it will store 1 byte or 1 word depending on whether you use STOS-B or STOS-W. Okay. And DI will be either incremented or decremented based on the direction flag. If D is 0, it is incremented. D is 1, it is decremented. DI is equal to DI plus or minus 1. Okay. So if I say STOS B, it will say ES colon DI. That is DI being the offset in the extra segment with DI as the offset. AL will be moved into that particular location. Okay. AL value will be moved into the extra segment location whose address is pointed by at a location which is pointed by DI. On the other hand, 16-bit of data will be transferred into a location whose location is or address is pointed by DI. 1 word is transferred. And after this, if this will be incremented or decremented by 2 here in STOS W, it will be decremented or incremented using by 1 in STOS B. Okay. And again, it can be used with REP for block filling. Whether you want to store a block filling, fill a particular block with whatever is the contents of AL or AX by using REP. Okay. For example, if I say, okay, I will do this way: move CX comma count. Okay, same pertaining to the same instruction. So now if I say move AL comma SRC, SR STRN, something like that, source string in this case, SRC STR. Okay. Okay. And then I have LEA DI DST underscore STR. Okay. CLD. And then if I say REP STOS B, if I do this, then what will happen is, what will happen as in the case of this? In this case, what will happen is the destination string will become A. Okay. What will happen is, in this case, when I say move, in this case, when I say move AL comma SRC STR, the first byte in SRC STR, that will be moved into AL, 1 byte, which will be A in this case. Will be moved into AL. Okay. Now, when I say REP STOS B, what will happen is the destination string will be filled with A. Okay, 4 times, because CX value is 4. CX value is 4. Okay, so that is how you do the STOS instruction. and this is load S. Right? Again, here also, because it's a data movement operation, no flags are affected here also. Okay. Now let us continue with other other instructions. Okay. Any doubts till here?
So while using stores with REP, do we need to move the addresses of the destination
No,
in SI? Yes, sir.
no, because they will be automatically moved.
Okay, sir.
It will be automatically done. Okay. Right.
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Yes.
Can you show the
Sir.
part where you repeated? Go ahead.
Can you show? Sorry.
The part where you did you explained the move SB part
USB.
where you
Yeah.
expanded it move
Yeah.
AL
Yeah.
comma SI.
Yeah. I'll do that once again. I should have it here also. Here, this one.
Yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. You expanded that move SB to show the
Okay,
working.
you want to do that? Okay, you want to see that?
Yes sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why did we use AL comma square brackets SI? Like that's storing an address, right?
Move.
I didn't
Which
understand that
one?
logic.
Move AL comma SI brackets.
The first two lines.
See,
Yes,
what
sir.
is happening? What are you doing using move SB? Move SB is basically you're transferring byte of data from SI pointer, that is the location which is pointed by SI, to a location which is pointed by DI. Okay, location pointed from SI to location pointed by DI. So that is what I'm doing manually. In the sense, whatever is 1 byte of data pointed by SI will be moved into AL. Now that 1 byte will transfer from AL into DI. Okay, from source string to AL, and then from AL to destination string. Okay, because here you see here, right? Did you get it?
Okay, so square brackets SI means the value inside SI, not the address.
SI brackets. What do you mean by that? I will ask you. I will not tell the answer. What do you mean by SI brackets? Why do you specify SI brackets? When do you specify SI brackets? Tell me. Who was asking the question? No issues. Clarify it.
Saurabh.
Who is asking?
Yes.
What's your name?
Saurabh.
Saurabh. Yeah. What do you mean by SI brackets?
The
Saurabh?
effective the address.
The offset,
address
basically.
operation?
The offset. Yeah. When you say offset, SI brackets means the offset address. The offset, and that means a byte of data whose offset is pointed by SI. When I say SI brackets, by the data which is present at this particular location. Okay, for example, if SI is 0100, okay, when I say SI brackets, this will mean DS colon 0100. That means it's a memory location whose offset is given by SI. Okay, 1 byte will be transferred. Why 1 byte? Because AL is 8 bits. That is 1 byte. So 1 byte will be transferred from DS colon 0100 into AL. Right? If you
Yes, sir,
say
got it.
move, if you say Saurabh, if you say move AL comma SI, okay, first of all, this will be wrong because this is 1 byte, this is 1 word, that is 16 bits. If I say move AX comma SI, okay, whatever is the contents of SI will be moved into AX. Okay, whatever is the contents of AX will be SI will be moved into AX. In this case, if SI is 0100, AX will now become 0100. right?
Yes, sir. Got it. Got it.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other query?
So what does the CLD instruction mean in the same slide?
In this slide, CLD.
Yes, sir.
CLD is clearing the destination flag. Clearing the destination flag, which means that I will actually make destination flag as 0. See here, CLD, when I say it clears the destination flag, okay, 0 will move into the destination flag. STD will actually set the destination flag, 1 will move into destination flag. Right?
Okay, sir. Thanks.
Okay, any other queries?
Sir,
Yes.
sir, when do we specify dot 386 and dot 486?
We will specify that especially when you want to use, basically whenever you are using 386 and 486 processor, you will specify that. Specifically, there could be some instructions which are present only in 386 and 486. Whenever you are using those instructions, you have to specify dot 386 and dot 486. Okay?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Right.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, the previous slide, the move SP. Yes, sir. Here we declared the count before the source STR. So what if we declare the count after the destination? So it won't create that 61 problem.
Mhm.
Like we declare after the destination count DB.
No. Then also it will have the problem. The point is that there some data will be transferred. If you say, yeah, I get your point. You said that if I put it here,
Yes.
then they'll not have a problem. No. It's not that after count, this is how actually it will look like. See, this is how actually it will look like. What will happen is, okay, 040. If you start the data segment here, 0400, this will be for that count. Then this is A, this is B, this is C, this is D. Okay, A, B, C, D here. Okay, A, B, C, D here, and then I have 4 locations which are copy or which are just reserved with question mark. Okay, that means you will just reserve 4 bytes. It is not that after these 4 locations you will not have any data. It is not that after this you will not have any data. You will have some garbage value. Let us say you will have AF, okay, or B0 or whatever it is. So, sir, that garbage, if you do not take care and if you move, if this was byte location, and if you did move CX comma count, then that garbage value, in this case, which could be AF or something like that, that will be moved into into the CH, the higher byte register of CX. Okay?
Yeah, got it.
Right. Okay. Any other query? Okay, fine. Let's then continue in the next class. Okay. So wherein we will actually, continue with other string instructions, that is CAS, okay, and CMPS. Okay, CAS and CMPS we will continue. Okay. After that, yeah, then we will go to the next instructions on push and pop and all those things. Right? Okay, fine. Thank you then.